tell you why. Even if you have to do it in a classified way, they didn't use any of that. They just decided they knew best. And candidly, it puts, and I think it puts a price on the head of our soldiers in Afghanistan. Clearly, now they know what the price is. And here's the other part that gets me going on this, Wolf. We have information that these groups tried to kidnap other Americans in the past and had trading arrangements in the past for one of the members that they've released. So they knew, or at least in their mind believed, that they could take prisoners to negotiate a release. So tell me what they've just learned in this lesson. They get 5 very seasoned Taliban folks when they desperately need them, coming back onto the battlefield in about 12 months from now. And by the way, they went to a place that had a violation, meaning that a detainee was sent to Qatar before and didn't live up to the year ban. They ended up arresting them in Great Britain. I mean, that's why you talk to other people other than yourselves, so you can come out with a better agreement, a better understanding, or maybe you even pause and say, it's important that the family get their loved one home. Absolutely, we're all for that. But at what expense do we risk the other soldiers and their families' lives in the next 2 years that the president said they're going to be in Afghanistan?
One quick final question, if you have the answer. Some of his fellow soldiers from Afghanistan have accused him of actually being a deserter, that he walked away from that base. So what do you know about that?
Yeah, I've seen the information. This was actually a topic of discussion back in 2011. They haven't answered the question. I think Department of Defense needs to do a thorough review to find out and determine what caused him to fall into Taliban hands. And I would, I think, be remiss if I conjectured in on that particular event. It's pretty serious, and so we need to find out. And they need to go through that review. It's important that people know. I know that certainly soldiers that serve with them are pretty upset right now.
Mike Rogers is the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Wolf.
Let me bring in Jeffrey Toobin, our senior legal analyst. You've looked at the law. You've looked at the signing statement. You've gone through it. Did the president break the law by engaging in this deal?
Oh, I think he clearly broke the law. The law says 30 days notice. He didn't give 30 days notice. Now, it is true that he issued a signing statement, but signing statements are not law. Signing statements are the president's opinion about what the law should mean. Now, it may be that the law is unconstitutional, a violation of his power as commander-in-chief, but no court has held that. The law is on the books, and he didn't follow it.
But, you know, President Bush used to do these signing statements that there would be a violation of what he signed into law, saying that if he determines as commander-in-chief he can go ahead and do it, it's okay, even though that negates the law of the land.
That's right. You know, lots of presidents since probably, I think, President Roosevelt have issued signing statements. But, you know, liberals were outraged by George W. Bush's signing statements. They thought he was deciding which laws he was going to follow and which laws he wasn't.
So was President Bush breaking the law, too?
There may have been examples where he did, but certainly this is an example of a signing statement where the president is taking power for himself that the law didn't give him. He's explicitly contradicting it. Now, that may be constitutional, but it is still a violation of what the law says.
You realize, of course, you're accusing the President of the United States of breaking the law. Jeffrey Toobin, who has written books about the United States Supreme Court.
Well, I don't think the president's too worried about what I think about this, but I do think that his critics have a very good point here that you have a law on the books and you have a direct contradiction. Situations like this, there's not much Congress can do about it. The courts generally stay out of it. They say this is to be worked out between the executive branch and the legislative branch. They can impeach the president, but I don't think clearly that's not going to happen here. But it matters whether people follow the law or not. It
certainly does. You don't want the President of the United States breaking the law.
Certainly not.
Jeffrey, stand by because we have other subjects we're going to discuss with you as well. And we're going to have much more at the top of the hour. Our special report, the return of Sergeant Bergdahl, including a live interview with the Deputy National Security Advisor to the President. Guess what? Tony Blinken has very different views on all of this. Plus, police shut down an entire block in San Francisco as the FBI searches for a man accused of having a house full of bombs. And brand new details about what role the Sterlings may have with the Clippers down the road as they work out an agreement with the NBA.